Okay, I'm going to show you the expectations for a subtraction word problem, and subtraction is the operation, takeaway is the action, and the first thing we do when we see this is we notice that this is a story, and when they see a story they know that they're going to use the four-step process to solve it. The first thing we do is read the story and try to figure out what action am I going to use to solve this? Is this going to be put together, or is this going to be takeaway? And when we read it, we ask ourselves, what does our brain tell us when we read this? So I'm going to start reading it. 10 turtles were sleeping in the sun. 4 turtles went in the water to swim. How many turtles were left sleeping in the sun? So I asked the students, what is your brain telling you? Does it tell you that this is put together, or does it tell you that this is takeaway? And I know my students, they'll say this is takeaway. And I'll ask them, how do you know that it's takeaway? And they'll say, well, 4 turtles went into the water to swim, and it says how many were left. And that is a word, when they hear left, that'll tell them that this is takeaway. So then, after we have figured out what action we're using, and this action is takeaway, we'll find the question. We start with the question mark, we find the question mark, and we highlight backwards until we find the first period. And then we are looking for the 2 most important things in the question, a who and a what. We circle those things in the question, anything that's important to us to help us get the answer. Everything else is considered to be trash. I'll cross out how many, that's trash to me, because how and many is not a who or a what, it's not a number, and it doesn't tell me what action to use. Turtles is important to me, that's my what. What am I counting in this story? I'm counting turtles. Were, I am going to count left sleeping. I circled left because left tells me that it's takeaway. I circled sleeping because I do care about how many turtles were left sleeping. I don't care about how many turtles went in the water to swim. So that's why I circled left sleeping. And the excuse me. And the sun is not important to me. So everything that I circled in the question, I will write in the main idea. These are the words that are going to help me get my answer. I go back, I tell the students to reread the question again to find the important words and numbers that will help them get their answer. 10. Anytime they see the number word written in words, I tell them they need to write the number on top so that they can visually see the numbers that they're going to be building. 10 turtles, that is important to me because that is my what. What am I counting in this story? I'm counting turtles. Were sleeping in the sun. 4, it's a number word, but I need to write my number on top. 4 turtles, that's another what. Went in the water to swim. How many turtles were left sleeping in the sun? You'll notice there's no who in this story, and that's okay if there's not a who, but we need to know what we're counting, and we are counting turtles. So I'm going to go ahead and write my main idea. My main idea is everything that I circled in my question only. The only thing that I circled is turtles left sleeping. If your student's having a hard time or taking a long time writing everything in this main idea, you can put abbreviations like T for turtles or S for sleeping. Okay, I'm going to start my model drawing. This box is the box for your pictures, the picture that will help them get their answer. If their picture is drawn correctly, then they should be able to get their answer correct. I start with my who and my what. And if they have a who in their story, then they should be able to match their who. But in this story, there's no who. So when there is not a who, we just put a little line there to show that there is no who in this story. Then we look for our what. Students should be able to find wherever they put their what. That is the what that I'm talking about. And our what is our turtle, so I put a T for turtle. Okay? And in subtraction, different from addition, there is only one unit bar. That is the difference that the kids should be able to identify when they see these model drawings. And to help them with that, we go back and we put a yellow box around the largest number and a blue box around the smallest number. And I show them that it's important that we build the biggest number first because that's what we started with. We started with 10 turtles sleeping in the sun. So I'm going to build 10 turtles sleeping in the sun. And we label them just like we did and put together. And put our bracket on top. And since this is the largest number, I put a yellow box around that. And the visuals will make more sense at the end. And I do tell them, go back and check. Make sure your greatest numbers, they match. Since 4 turtles went swimming in the water, and that's the number that we're taking away, I'm going to take away 4 turtles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I took away 4 turtles. Make sure that we're putting our X's from the left to the right and not from the right to the left. And this is my smaller number. Our question mark will go on the boxes here showing how many turtles were left sleeping. These are the boxes that will give them their answer. If they draw their boxes correctly, they should get the right answer here. Okay. I also have these cards here to help them. These cards are also available on my website. You can print them out and the kids can use them at home. So I have them draw this exact thing in this box, and all they have to do is match those numbers. So they put a yellow box on top of their blue box. And fill it in. What number did we start with first? We started with 10 turtles sleeping in the sun. And I have them check. Do you have 10 in your yellow box? And how many turtles went into the water? How many X's did you put? 4. And do those two numbers match? Okay. Always check and make sure they have a minus sign since we're doing subtraction. And how many boxes are left? How many turtles were left sleeping? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. And this is called the difference. I have them put diff for short. And to tell me how they got their answer, again, I give them this help card to help them write all those words. They write, I subtract, and they are subtracting 4 away from 10. So we put the blue box, subtract 4 from 10 to get a diff of 6. And they do go back and they put their colors and make sure all their colors match. And that really helps them to check themselves and make sure that they do have the right answer. It also helps them check themselves when they are given answer choices, and they check themselves that way. There you go.